Hi everybody. So today I want to talk about cheek fillers. Cheek fillers are a really popular treatment amongst a variety of ages. They're also really popular with both men and women, and they're one of our favourite treatments in the clinic. Because there's a lot you can do with cheek fillers, and in the right hands a lot can go a really long way. So first of all, what are cheek fillers? Well, these are dermal fillers. So in our case, Juvederm hyaluronic acid dermal fillers, and we use them to add volume to the cheeks, lift the mid and lower face. By doing that, we use them to define the cheek area. So we augment the cheekbone. We use them to shape the cheekbones. We use them to sculpt the appearance of the face. We can add curvature, we can add depth. So it's a really exciting treatment, and it really allows you to do quite a lot without a lot of filler. So with Juvederm, the reason we use it is it's a hyaluronic acid filler, so it's temporary, and it is safe. It's been around for many years. It's quite a famous brand. It's the same company that make Botox, and with Juvederm fillers, what we do is we use a thicker one for the cheek area, and we inject quite deep, just above the bone. That's a nice and safe area. It reduces the risk of bleeding or bruising, and it also gives a really natural lift that goes with your face if you inject it in the right area without kind of looking puffy or overdone, which is sometimes what happens when people inject too superficially or in the wrong place. With these fillers, what we tend to do in clinic is we just come up with a really personalised plan for every single person that would like them, and we come up with that plan based on talking with you, examining you, and what your main concerns are, what you would like to achieve from the treatment, and what we think can be done with the treatment based on our experience. And then what happens during the treatment is the area is numbed that we want to inject in, and where we inject depends on where we want to improve, what we want to do. Our doctors use either a needle to inject or a little micro cannular, which is a little tube, or a combination of both, depending on the kind of the appearance we want, depending on what we want to do. So this is one of the really important points to say about any filler treatment or any aesthetic treatment is, every person's treatment is likely to differ, and that's a good thing. So if you go to someone who knows what they're doing and who cares, your treatment will differ from someone else's, probably, because your face is different to someone else's. If people who kind of do the same approach for everybody, then you don't tend to get a very natural looking result, because it's not customized or tailored to your face. So that's one thing that's important to bear with cheek fillers. So what are the results that you can get from cheek fillers? Well, if you're curious and interested, you can kind of go to our website, and I've put the page below, and you can have a look at some of the before and afters. But there are a range of things that you can do. So in people where the problem is aging and volume loss, you actually can redefine the face, give it a little bit more volume in the middle so it looks a little bit more youthful, but also that tends to lift up the appearance of the face, and it lifts up even the jawline upwards. It makes everything kind of look a little bit more lifted. If the concern is kind of having a flat or sunken face and not having much definition, then we can really augment that area so that it looks like you have a more defined cheek line, so that your cheeks, there's more depth, there's more definition in that area. So there's a lot we can do, and it just depends on kind of what the initial concern is and what the aims are, and that's why it's important to have a detailed consultation. Well, how long do the treatment last is a question I get asked all the time, and the short answer is Although they're temporary, it varies from person to person. We normally tell people generally around 6 months. Some people a tiny bit less than that, other people a little bit more than that for the type of Juvederm fillers we use. And we tell people, if it lasts a bit longer, that's great. When people ask us, when should I have a top up, I always respond, you'll kind of know. I don't like people topping up just because it seems like it's the time to do so, because actually the treatment may continue to work for a little bit longer. So I tell people the minute you notice, that's when you kind of book a consultation with us, and then we can have a look and see if it's the time to kind of repeat the treatment. In terms of the treatment itself, it's pretty low maintenance. So after you have the injection, we apply a protective balm, but you can see most of the results straight away. Occasionally, some people may have a little bit of bruising, and we give you advice on that if you have a bit of bruising, to ice the area so that it settles down. Swelling-wise, some people do experience some swelling with fillers. It's not huge with cheek fillers, just because of the depth of the injection, but that's something to think about. So if you're someone who's prone to swelling, or if you have a super important event the next day, we'd advise you to kind of have the treatment when you don't have something like that, just in case you're one of the people that might have a bit of swelling. If you do have swelling, it does settle down after a few days, and that's one of the reasons we're very keen to offer kind of follow-up, because we think it's a good way to kind of monitor it if there is any swelling and help give you advice to reduce it. So what I advise most people is you see the result pretty much straight away, but we tell people to wait for a few weeks till the filler completely settles. So it may be that it looks a little bit less after it settles down than what you immediately see. So, but the vast majority of people, the result that they see is pretty much close to what they end up with straight away. So it's quite a lovely treatment. And with fillers, sometimes I get asked, how many mil of filler? Well, that depends on what type of correction is needed. As I said, in our clinic, we're very keen to do as little as possible to get the maximal result. So we always tell everyone we start with 1 mil of filler. It's rare that someone, if you're just looking for a bit of definition, to need more than that. If you're looking for volume loss and definition, then 2 mil of filler is probably what you're looking at, but actually there's no need to rush and have all of that together. You can always have 1 mil and then come back at your follow-up, and then have the second treatment there and then. So this is just to make sure that you always get the most for the least treatment or the least product, because we think that's a good way of looking at these products, and it's a good way of ensuring you get a really natural result. And then finally, there's nothing in terms of instructions at home. We always give everyone a list of things to expect, what things to contact us about if there's a problem, and we really hope that that's generally what most people do in other places, because I think it's quite important to give people advice. And so, that's kind of the main thing with cheek fillers. So what I'd say, if you're interested in cheek fillers, do have a look at our page links below and our posts on just the Insider's Guide to Cheek Augmentation and general information, and do your homework really well. And for any of these treatments, go somewhere where you have a rapport with the doctor treating you. You feel that you'll have a treatment that's designed around you, and also that you'll get follow-up if you need, or if there's a problem or anything like that. And if you have any questions, leave a comment below. And if you would like me to cover any other treatments or anything related to cheek filler or anything else, please leave a comment below. Don't forget to check out the rest of our videos, and please subscribe to our channel for more information on aesthetic treatments and fuss-free beauty.